should have told him yes, we were.
Okay, good evening. We are here August 13th, 2024 for our general committee meeting. I will kick this off. I am your chairman, Lee Peterson from the exquisite Ward 2. And with us, we have our commissioners tonight.
Oh, Bob Garza, Ward 3.
Jim Waters, Ward 6,
And our distinguished vice mayor.
Vice Mayor, Co-Chairman.
Thank you all for being here. And Jason Gallo is here with us, our city liaison. Would you like to kick off all the rest of the?
Sure, I'll do the introduction on that. So my name is Jason Gallo, I'm the Admin Services Director.
Casey Lamar, Public Information Officer.
Jesse Eckenrell, Chief of Operations.
Terry Goodwin, Alderman, Ward 4.
Karen Dixon, Alderman, Ward 4.
And our incredible IT JP is here. Thank you, JP, for doing this. We have guests in the house as well, so we will go ahead and call this meeting to order. Have y'all had a chance to read the agenda for tonight?
All 9 lines of it.
All day.
Okay. Would we like to accept the agenda as presented before us?
I'll make that motion.
So second.
Okay, Mr. Garza has made the motion and it has been properly seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passes. And have you had a chance to read the minutes? And this was from last month, July the 9th.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and
I'll move that we accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
thank you. I have a proper motion from Mr. Garza to accept the minutes and a second from Mr. Waters. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passes unanimously. And we are, next up is citizen comments. Did we have anyone sign up tonight?
No, sir.
That's no fun. So we will.
We've had some fun ones.
Yes, we have. I certainly enjoy hearing from the residents.
Yeah.
Keeping us in check on everything that we do. So I certainly welcome those. All right, we will move on to item number 5, ordinances and resolutions. And our first one is reading of resolution 2024-28 is a resolution authorizing the city to apply for the Public Entity Partners Safety Partners Grant. And Mayor Clary is sponsoring this, but he is in another meeting right now. So Jason, can you
Sure.
give us a little bit more information on this type of grant?
Yeah, this is a grant that's offered through our insurance provider. So Public Entity Partners offers this as one of many grants. This is a 50-50 match up to $4,000. So if we spent $8,000 on items like protective clothing, footwear, eye protection, safety things to protect our employees. If we spend up to $8,000 and we apply for the grant, if we get accepted, they'll reimburse half of that. So we did this last year and we got that full $4,000.
Okay.
So we're applying again. We hope to apply this year.
That's great. I love when we get a 50-50 match for merchandise that we
Correct.
need anyway.
That's right.
And what type of, I know this is a personal protective equipment, but
Mhm.
what in general is this that we're getting for the staff and all of our city employees?
Yeah. So last year, what we used it for was anything from chainsaw chaps to latex gloves to protect our parks employees while they're out working, or police department, the fire department. So kind of hit a wide variety of areas. It could be more specific. We did vests, reflective vests for the roads crew last year. This year, I know Andy has mentioned doing boots for the parks maintenance workers. That's not something they've had before, so this would be an opportunity to provide some protective footwear.
Okay, that
So-
sounds great. I know this is always to encourage the establishment of a safe workplace. So
Right.
I encourage that. How much do we normally spend each year on the personal protective equipment?
I don't have a full figure for you. I can tell you that the quote that Andy gave me just for the boots alone for his staff was about 2,700, somewhere right in there.
Is that steel toe boots? Is that where we're going?
I don't remember if they were steel toe.
These are actually for them to wear in the rain and the mud.
Oh, okay.
Wet surfaces.
We did the fire boots, specifically our firefighters wear. Last year we applied for that and those were accepted. And that's part of their standard protective equipment. They wear, the 24 hours that they're on shift. And I'm just trying to think, the tourniquets was that the police department just spent was over $1,000. So we'll easily spend $10,000 or more
Okay,
on protective equipment. And I know the roads crew will go through that equally. Those vests don't last forever.
I'm sure.
So having to replenish and renew that equipment as it comes up.
Well, so we applied last year and we were awarded the grant.
Yes, sir.
What are our chances this year?
So far, so good.
Okay, and this is from our insurance partner, Blue Cross Blue Shield.
No, it's not. It's
Oh.
public entity partners.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, you're okay.
I was getting ahead of myself because we had applied for a park
Ah.
grant through
Yes,
our friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield.
that's right.
Anyway, anybody have any more questions on this?
No, I just want to make a note in case anyone hadn't read that yet, that these funds have already been appropriated, so they're in the budget. So we're not adding anything to the budget. So with that being said, I'll make a motion that we accept this ordinance.
Second.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna have a proper motion for resolution 2024-28, a resolution authorizing the city to apply for the Public Entity Partners Safety Partners Grant. And I have a proper second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that passes unanimously. We are on to item number 2, reading of resolution 2024-30, a resolution amending the job classification list and pay table. And again, Mayor Clary is sponsoring that, but he is in another meeting. So Jason, would you like to, or Jesse, explain this resolution to us?
Sure. So this resolution is specifically addressing classification at additions. This isn't necessarily addressing any of the budget pieces that would go before finance, but this is a proposed change. We had our administrative coordinator who in the executive office leave. And so it was an opportunity to look at that position and try and gain some efficiencies. So Jesse and the mayor had approached me both to say, here's what we think we might need, and to go out to the market and see what a position like that might look like. It is a combination of a couple different things. One is a change in classification for a public information officer to go from a public information officer to a communications manager. And then the other part to this is taking that administrative coordinator and redesigning it to be a communications coordinator and an executive coordinator. So still assisting the mayor's office. About 10 hours a week is what we figured the workload. That might change, but that's what we're looking at right now. And then the other part of the duty is helping Ms. Lamar with her responsibilities and trying to maintain social media and communications and the website.
Helping who?
Casey.
I didn't understand you.
Miss Lamar. So helping her with some of the duties, her role has grown as well. So it's adding a backup for her, which is not something that exists right now. The third part to this would be just the restructure and moving Miss Debbie, who's up at the front, and putting both those roles under Casey as communications manager. So,
This is more of an efficiency move.
yes, sir.
So these aren't two new jobs that are being created. They're more or less revamping one that was vacated.
Correct.
Okay.
And then, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
And then adding an administrative coordinator, or is that being geared toward the receptionist at the front office?
So the administrative coordinator was the position that was vacant.
Okay.
And then Debbie is up front is a administrative assistant too in her role. Her role would not change.
Okay.
So the intent with the classifications though would be to leave the public information officer and the administrative coordinator and the executive department, leave those classifications as active in case there's a need for them in the future. So if we get down the road and decide this isn't the best setup, we still have those classifications to go back to. If we see that there's more need, we're not coming back to general and Novoma and asking for those again.
Well, I appreciate these positions. I've seen the whole website be revamped and it's more user-friendly and a lot of information is being pushed out onto the city Facebook page. And the website is interactive, so I certainly appreciate that. The residents have as well. I've heard compliments that they can find information that they're looking for. Yes, Mr. Waters.
Thank you. Does anybody hold these two positions now?
Currently, these are two, if you will, new classifications. No one is in them right now.
So we're adding two.
So 2 classifications, not 2 positions. Casey is in one position as a public information officer, and that position would be reclassified
To
to
what?
communications manager.
With the increase of that kind of money?
Mm-hmm.
What? $9,000? And the second one, tell me about that one.
So the administrative coordinator is the vacant position in the mayor's office.
Okay.
That's-
We don't, it's not filled right now.
There's no one in there right
Okay.
now. That position, looking to reclassify it to provide efficiencies to assist Casey as well as the mayor's office. So that role would change to a communications and executive coordinator.
Well, I'm not concerned about the names, the titles. That's,
No.
I'm just an alderman, okay? But when I look at this money.
Yep.
It's a 15,000. Is that in the budget already, Jesse?
No, it's not. So what would be required if we made this move is we'd come back and do an amendment to the budget. So this isn't asking for the amendment in the budget. This is to add those 2 classifications to our job classification.
And
list.
the amount.
The amount would come later. We put the amount in here as so you know what the pay difference is, but this is not a request at this point to amend the budget. I mean, that is likely to happen, Alderman Waters, that there will come a budget amendment, but we have restrictions on when we can do budget amendment, so we are just doing the classification tables first.
If we didn't make this change, because there's no additional city staff on this.
Mhm.
If we didn't make this change, though, there would be additional city staff.
Yeah.
Which would cost a lot more than those numbers.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So in other words, if we were to add the communications coordinator, make sure I understand correctly.
Right.
If we left everything as is and added that communications coordinator.
Right.
That would be an addition.
Correct.
Yeah, and if I could give a little bit of context to kind of, the executive department is over the last few years, we've been able to make some changes in the executive department to make that position more efficient. If you've seen that these packets used to be put together by the executive department, they're now put together by the city recorder. So that's under the city recorder's office. So there's been some duties in the executive assistant position or executive coordinator that we aren't really utilizing anymore. So what we look for is a place where we really do see a need, and we constantly are seeing the need in the social media, the information that gets out to the public. You'll see tonight we have a new, landing page on the website for PIP, and for Code Red and all these things. We don't have a backup for the only public information person we have at the city. So we combine the two instead of just adding a new body. We combine the two so that we could cover what needs to be done in the executive department and at the same time give support to the public information officers, reorganize the public information officer to have supervision over 2 employees. That way, during times of vacation, sickness, we still have someone to put out public information, do website updates and things of that nature. So we did it without creating a new body. We just restructured some positions, but the positions do require more technical ability. And then the PIO now requires supervision over multiple employees. So that's why we considered the pay scale when we did these adjustments to the
Just
job
let
classification.
me ask you to back up. You made a remark. You don't utilize what? You said something about, you don't utilize that department no more.
The
Did I
executive
misunderstand?
coordinator position that is currently vacant, we have found ways to make that position more efficient, and we've put some of the duties that position used to do under the city recorder to make that position more efficient. Basically, the city recorder duties were bifurcated before, so we just put them all under the city recorder. One of the things that you guys recently changed was the way that we do board and committee assignments. So those used to come every meeting. Now they're going to be done quarterly. So we made a master list, and we're going to update those quarterly. So instead of preparing those, that's what the executive assistant would do. A lot of times reach out, prepare those every 2 weeks. And instead of doing it every 2 weeks, we just do it once a quarter now. So that
I understand.
all those little things have just freed up some
I
time.
understand what you're saying about the work and that it's involved. Is it enough to make this change though?
Well, I think we had a hard time justifying hiring a full-time position for the job that the executive coordinator at the current capacity. The current capacity of the executive coordinator would far exceed the amount of work that we're giving to the executive coordinator. So it was hard to justify bringing in a full-time person, but we need a consistent person in there to do a lot of it. But we saw a room where we could supplement where we have a need at City Hall. And so that's what we try to do is let's bring someone in who can be consistent, help out, yet supplement where we see the need at City Hall.
So Casey, right now, as communications director, and you go on vacation, who does it then?
Me. I
That's,
haven't taken a vacation yet, or I haven't taken.
that's
a
where we're
work
going,
with me.
right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have any questions about that?
Oh, yeah.
Shoot 'em.
I'll
Shoot 'em at us.
Huh?
Shoot 'em at us.
No. When it comes to money, I just get in a corner and I want to cry.
Me too.
She said me too.
Who?
Casey.
Who said that?
Casey.
Casey,
She said me
she
too.
said me too.
I'm thrifty. I get it.
Yeah, you might get it, but your superiors don't. Okay, I'm ready to vote.
Okay, any more discussion?
I know where you're thinking. I know where you're coming from with this, by the way. And the two big things for me, number one, I just want to put this is we're not hiring additional staff, right? Which we don't think it's so easier to say, hey, we need more of this, hire somebody. And with benefits and with salary, it far exceeds what both of these numbers are, in my opinion. Would that be correct, Jesse?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I also know that this one over here is working way too many hours. Even when she's off, she's working. So that needs to be combined with someone else in here. So I look at that actually a little bit before I look at the money, and you're looking at the money a little bit before you look. That's okay. That's what we should do, right? But that's what I see when I look at this. So with that being said, I make a motion that we approve this ordinance.
Okay.
Just to clarify, it's a resolution on this one because
It's a resolution, not an ordinance.
There's no budget change. on
Correct.
this.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's just a resolution.
So I make a motion that we approve this resolution.
Okay, I have a motion to approve resolution 2024-30, a resolution amending the job classification list and pay table for communications manager and communications and executive coordinator.
What do you think I ought to do, Karen?
I think it's a smart move. Anytime that I'm sorry, anytime that you can, better utilize your staff without adding a head count is okay in my book.
Terry?
I agree. Sorry.
That's all right. I'm sorry too.
But
Okay,
I certainly appreciate your concern.
I do
I
too.
really do.
I do too.
okay.
it's too big of a job for one person. And
Okay, why can't we split it up into some other departments?
well,
Well,
I like having one person, a public information officer that we can go to that continually puts out standard information. But we can't do it to the point where this person cannot go on vacation or has to do this on their time off. Hendersonville is not 9 to 5. This city is night and day, and information will not wait. And people want to know what's happening the second it happens. I read Hip Hendersonville. I know. Inquiring minds want to know. And I like to have information coming out from the city, from the police department, from the fire department.
I'd like to add something to that too. Our city's getting younger and younger because of the amount of people moving in, whether it's apartments or homes or urban rentals. And I've got some constituents in my area that are a little bit older than me. And they'll tell you real quick that they don't do online. You know, they won't even go to the city website, but the young people are, and they need that information quick. And that's what they're used to. It's all right here. It's on this little computer right here. So I think it's in our best interest to do everything we can to get more information to our citizens as fast as possible. Especially when it was a big head-on accident last night on Washington. When I heard, I didn't see it or anything, but I got that within seconds. You know, immediately changed, what I was going to do that evening. So
that was from the police department.
yeah, but still, it comes through communications. It was from the police department. You're right.
Yeah.
But it didn't have to be head-on collision. It could have been a tree has fallen across, the road over here. And, don't go that way. So I'm a big fan of information. I'm not excellent at it by any means. But I happen to think as we get younger and younger in the city, it's even more and more important.
Mr. Waters, we have a motion
Okay,
on the table, and I need a second.
I know you do.
Yes, sir.
Is this her increase?
That would be
Her?
Casey's increase. That includes benefits.
Right. It's included in everything.
So it's not just her annual salary. That's including the cost of the benefits that go with it.
Okay. All right. I'll agree with this motion. I don't want to, but I will.
Well,
I'm just stingy,
that's okay. Hey, you know what? There's times to be stingy and times not to be stingy. And that's why you're here.
I hope so.
And
Okay.
it's also a 24/7 job too. So take that into consideration.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Waters, for your second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes unanimously. We're going to move on to other agenda items. And this would be other business. And do we have any other business?
I have one other business.
I want to reject that one we just.
For those who don't know, the volunteer gardener on MPT will be doing a special on this Thursday night for my wife's and my garden.
Well, that's great news. And that's on Channel 8.
Channel 8 MPT,
What time?
7:30 Thursday night. And also on Sunday morning.
Us locals call that Channel 8.
Channel 8.
Do we do?
Channel 8.
What's it?
Is it Channel 8 on all the services though? Whether you have direct to,
PT or something like that?
It
No
is
idea.
it is MPT.
Yeah, my wife watches it all the time.
Okay, well, that's
Well,
good
she's watching
news.
it
That's
Thursday night or Sunday.
exciting.
That's our garden you'll see.
Very good.
And you have a beautiful garden, so
Mhm.
everyone should watch
That
that.
is good news. Okay, well, Mr. Waters, did you have some new, old, other business?
Not after tonight, I don't have anything.
Okay. We will have, I think, a full agenda next month, so no vacations, okay?
You remember that.
Yes, I will be here.
But you're gonna speak about something? Okay.
Anyone have,
I just I would like, could you tell us please what you do?
My name is Jackie, and I am in sales at Clarendale.
Okay,
Big Pendle?
Clarendale, the assisted living community.
Yeah.
And you're in Forward Sumner,
Leadership Sumner.
Leadership Sumner class of 24.
Are you, yeah, 24,
Okay.
25, yeah.
Well,
It
that's
just
good.
starts this week.
All right, well, thank you for coming to the meeting. We appreciate you doing that. That's a Leadership Sumner is a very good group.
Yeah, I'm
So,
excited to get going.
thank you for being here. And also Director Gilly, thank you for your input earlier in the meeting. But we didn't introduce you, so thank you for being here as always.
You're welcome.
And
I can give
Mr.
input.
Henson is hiding from the camera, but he is here as well. So glad you're here. If there is,
I make a motion.
please do.
yes,
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Bless you.
He actually seconds something.
He Simon said something.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
I love Clarendale.